for my lesson plan, I'm having students create a map of the school. So they need to include details, labels, and then they also need to pick one place in the school, for instance the library, and then find 2 or more different paths from the classroom to the library, for instance. And they're going to use different colored pencils or pens for the labels, the drawings, and the different paths. So the importance of this is it's going to connect to the European explorers and how they had to create maps of the places they found. So my standard is for social studies, relationships between people, place, idea, and environments are dynamic. And then for English, they need to demonstrate a command of conventions of standard English grammar and usage when speaking. So there's going to be just some discussion and explaining of their maps done. So they need to make sure they're using the correct grammar when they're talking. The objective is students will be able to understand European explorers through knowing how maps help them. So to start off the class, they're going to watch a crash course on European explorers. It's about 16 minutes long, and students will be asked to take notes. 5 important things in the video, and then there will be a discussion afterwards. So after the video, they'll share what they wrote down, what they found important, and why they found it important. Then they'll create the map, like I said, and then after they create the map, I'll have a couple students share theirs, so they'll explain what problems they ran into while creating the map. So one instance could be a student couldn't remember exactly where something was, or the details around a certain place in the school. And they also explain why they included certain things. So they put a picture on the wall across from the library. Okay, so what was the importance of including that picture? Did you just want to include it, or was there some kind of thought process there? And then after we discuss that, we'll discuss, okay, how does your map relate to the European explorers based on what you know from the video? And they'll be able to use the map. There's a couple maps in the video that they can use, and they'll see like the details and stuff while they're working. Anyways, back to the connection. They'll explain the connection between the maps and the European explorers. So how did European explorers create maps? What were the important things they needed to know when creating the maps? And then to assess that's a discussion, and then afterwards there'll be 2 essential questions written on the board that they have to answer for an exit ticket. So they'll have to write the questions down, just like 1, 2, and then answer them. And so the first essential question is, how does our map relate to European explorers? And the second one is, what is the importance of the maps to the European explorers and us? So like when the European explorers were creating their maps, why were they creating them? What was the importance there? And then what is the importance of us having maps now? So like the map of the school, what is the importance of that map? And students will have the knowledge of the European explorers, like how they felt and the problems they ran into when creating these maps. Obviously there's going to be different problems that they ran into, but there's also some similarities too. And they're going to be focused of location of places and how they're in relation to them and other places. And the significance of that is getting somewhere quickly, or having different ways to get there, and they kind of go through that when they create their map and the different paths to the one place in the school. And so they'll have some knowledge. The knowledge they'll have before coming into this is they'll have already done Native Americans and learned about the stars, moon, and sun, and how to track them and how people used to track them. So I've learned that there was a bigger connection between the European explorers and the other topics that they discussed. So like the European explorers also used the stars, the moon, and the sun to figure out where they're at and which way is north, southeast, and west, based on where the sun rises and sets, and also where the stars and the moon are.